Hey, is that folk music that you play there? What is that? How do you call that folk music?
I think it was Studs Terkel who asked Big Bill Brunzi, did he consider his blues music to be folk music? And Big Bill says, well, never heard no horse.
Don't hesitate. It could be your ticket to a new tomorrow.
The spring was coming, the winter was ending, icicles fell off the vines. She caught his eye, and he was on fire down in the valley one night. Her sister said he's got eyes like the devil, he's not the marrying kind. The winds are rising and red weather's coming down to the valley tonight. And down in the valley you hear the ghost whisper when spring shimmers and shines. The moon spins notes of gold and silver down in the valley at night. The wind swept the alleys, it spun like a reel. The winds tore open the skies, but she ran to his arms, down in the valley like she had wings and could fly. And down in the valley you hear the ghost whisper, when spring shimmers and shines. The moon spins notes of gold and silver down in the valley at night. Hear the wind whisper in, hear the wind whisper in. And down in the valley you hear the ghost whisper, when spring shimmers and shines. The moon spins notes of gold and silver down in the valley at night. Thank you. Thanks very much.
The show is Horses Sing None of It. My name is Ralph Litwin, and our guest tonight is an award-winning songwriter from Massachusetts, Thea Hopkins. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Ralph.
Nice
it's
to
nice
have
to
you
be
here.
here tonight.
You certainly have a lovely voice.
Well, thank you very much.
Do you care to, are you one of those songwriters who cares to delve into the inspirations for your songs?
Well, sure. I mean, I think that's an important part of songwriting. For me, a lot of the time, my inspiration comes from dreams at different times. I'll wake up, right before I wake up, I'll have a line in my head, or I'll have a melody in my head, or sometimes I'll wake up in the middle of the night and I'll have to put something on paper or put it down on, I'll hear a melody, put it down on a tape recorder, and or I'll hear just a snatch of a bass line, and then that will prompt me to write something, you know, which doesn't necessarily have anything to do with what I've heard, but it just kind of sparks my imagination and kind of gets the creative juices flowing.
Cool.
Yeah.
Must be nice to wake up with a song in your head that's brand new.
It is. The song that I just played, The Valley, that's a song that I wrote after looking at an Edward Hopper painting. And it had to do, it was one of his fantastic, you know, kind of gothic paintings, and it was called The Jealous Lover. And the song's not about that, but the imagery just really inspired me to write the song.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Will you care to give us another?
Sure. It's a song called To the Border, and this is one of the songs that I woke up with the the melody and the, the, the chorus in my mind to the border. And it's a song about chance meetings and promise of love.
Great.
I remember the first time I saw him. I was sitting waiting for a train. The dirt on his boots didn't jibe with the suit or the lines on his face. His suitcase was covered with stickers and stains the color of mud. They come from traveling through lands and passions that few of us trust. All the way to the border, all the way to the border, all the way to the border. He asked me where I was going, had I been there before, and was I seeking fortune or love's rewards. We laughed as the daylight was fading. We laughed, not quite knowing why. Then he told me a story of angels. Said, come fly by my side. All the way to the border, all the way to the border, all the way to the border. The sky turned the color of roses as I looked in his eyes, and I saw myself light as air, flying with him through the night. But I heard the train whistle, and I had to go. And as I stood, he took my hand, saying, leaving won't change what we know. All the way to the border, all the way to the border, all the way to the border. I remember the first time I saw him. I was sitting waiting for a train.
Beautiful. Beautiful song.
Thank you very much.
Now you have a very interesting cultural heritage.
I do, that's true, and I consider myself very fortunate because from a very early age, not only did I have a very varied cultural heritage, but I was exposed to different cultures. My background is it's American Indian, African American, Irish, English, Portuguese, and French Canadian. So
Quite a mixture.
It's quite a mixture, but it's a lot of American Indian.
And what tribe is it that your uncle is?
My uncle Donald. He passed away last year, but he was chief. He was chief of the Wampanoags on Martha's Vineyard. So yeah, so it's for me it's been a rich experience because I get to not only participate in a lot of different cultures and feel like I'm really a part of them, which I am, but as I said, I was kind of exposed to a lot of different cultures because my father was a scientist, and I grew up like on college campuses, and so our neighbors were from Cuba next door. The people upstairs were from Germany, and so there were when I was a little girl, I'd go to these East Indian dinners, and so I had all of these different kind of experiences from an early age. So it opened me up to the world.
That's great.
Yeah, it was really neat.
Great. Would you like to tell us about another song?
Sure. This next song, it's called Jesus is on the Wire, and it's a song that I wrote that's it's dedicated to the memory of Matthew Shepard, and he was a college student who was gay and was murdered back in '98 in Wyoming, and I'm very honored by the fact that Peter, Paul, and Mary recorded the song, and it came out on their album this past year, and it was their first studio album in 9 years, so I was really honored that they recorded it, and it's also featured in their PBS special, which was airing this past year, kind of a retrospective, and so it's included in their special too. And it's an interesting story how they got the song, because I entered a song contest that Noel Paul Stuckey runs every couple of years through his Public Domain Foundation for Social Causes. Mm-hmm. And so I sent the song in, and it wasn't one of the winners, and it wasn't even one of the finalists. And but about 4 months after the contest ended, I got this email that started out, "Hi, I'm the tall balding guy in the middle of Peter, Paul, and Mary. And we love your song. Can we perform it? Can we bring it to America?" And so after I picked myself up off the floor, I immediately emailed them back and said, "Absolutely, you can." And so that's how it happened.
Nice success story.
Yeah, it's wonderful. It was just, out of the blue, completely out of the blue.
So for all you aspiring songwriters out there, don't be disappointed when you don't win a song
That's
contest.
right.
You might actually get something great out of it anyway.
You never know, you just don't know.
So let's hear it.
Okay. Rundown church, red clay, river covered in a smoky haze. Sunday morning, the fire's out. Sunday morning, no one about. The earth is soft this time of year. Boots get caked from there to here. Down the road, Route 25, we found this boy, barely alive. Jesus is on the wire, far away, higher and higher. Took him down off a fence, cold as ice, almost dead. He said that he slept with guys. They said that he was gonna die. Jesus is on the wire, far away, higher and higher. Sometimes at night you hear the sound of cars that stop where he was found. A small white cross, Wyoming skies,
died. Jesus is on the wire, far away, higher and higher. Jesus is on the wire, far away, higher and higher.
Boy, that sure paints a sad picture.
Well, it does, and unfortunately, it's something that is still continuing in this country.
The song is recorded on your debut album from a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And folks can find out more information about the recording and your touring schedule and your bio and all pictures and everything by emailing you at Thea Hopkins at AOL.com or at Thea at TheaHopkins.com.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Either
so
way.
Either way, they'll be able to reach me there. And I'm actually starting to record a new album, which I'm very excited about. And I'm going to start recording that in a couple of weeks, and going to be recording it with David Goodrich. He's going to be producing it, and he's just a fantastic musician and producer. He produced Chris Smithers' last album. So
Sounds like you'll be in good hands.
I am absolutely sure that I will be in great hands with him with my songs, you know. And songs are so precious to you, you know, to every songwriter, that you want to make sure if you're handing them over to somebody to work with, that they really have a feeling for them, you know. And he definitely does have a feeling for what I'm doing. So I'm really, really excited about it.
That's great.
Yeah.
So tune in for more information about that to the website, TheaHopkins.com. And I'm sure you'll post it as soon as there's information available.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So what are you retuning for here?
Well, I've just put this down to Dadgad, and I write a few songs in Dadgad. I've just started to kind of explore it. I took this great Dadgad workshop last year with Artie Tron, and so that kind of inspired me to write some Dadgad tunes.
Artie has been a guest on
Has
our
he
show
really?
here, yeah.
He's great. He's wonderful.
He is terrific.
Yeah, he really is. So this is one of the songs that I've written in
Great.
Dadgad.
Look forward to hearing
It's
it.
called Before the Weather Turns.
Looking out at a sky of gray, covering up yesterday, driving down a muddy road, full of weeds and bitter stones. I see your face, hear your voice, 1,000 miles away. The ghost of love won't leave my side today. Before the weather turns, I will learn how to love. Before the weather turns, I will learn how to love. Like the click of a railroad tie, locking hard, we locked eyes and ran the train right off the track, right into a field full of tall grass. I see your face, hear your voice, 1,000 miles away. The ghost of love is whispering here today. Before the weather turns, I will learn how to love. Before the weather turns, I will learn how to love. We only did what we knew how. We had no faith, might have some now. You can get so used to breaking things and tossing them away so you don't feel anything. I see your face, hear your voice, 1,000 miles away. The ghost of love is begging me today. Before the weather turns, I will learn how to love. Before the weather turns, I will learn how to love. Before the weather turns, before the weather turns, before the weather turns, I will learn how to love.
In addition to doing you the favor of recording your song, Peter, Paul, and Mary also wrote something very nice about you, which I think is really true. Thea Hopkins is one of the most poetic, literate, and powerfully moving of the new singer-songwriters to emerge on the scene in the last few years.
Well, yeah, well, I had to pay them a lot to say that. Just kidding.
I don't think they take payola.
I don't think they do either. But no, they've been really. I was fortunate enough to be able to hear them perform the song live a couple of years ago, and they were just, it was just such an honor to meet them because they're such lovely people, and they're so. I mean, they really are truly committed to political issues, and the fact that they did this song really is really a tribute to their commitment to issues, and because it's gotten some interesting, Jesus is on the Wire got some very interesting responses. When they first started performing it, I started getting some emails from some unhappy fundamentalists who really didn't quite agree with my perspective that that Jesus and gay should somehow be connected. They weren't pleased at all with that.
I can imagine that.
And so I wrote back to them and I said to them, well, as far as I know, Jesus was considered an outsider, and I think that this is something that connects very much with his philosophy, and so.
Very apt answer to that.
Nothing more to say about it.
Well, I think we just have time to do one more tune.
Okay, that's great, and you can join me on this one.
I would love to play some harmonica with you. Thank thank you so much for being our guest on Horses Sing None of It.
Well, thank you so much for inviting me, Ralph. It's a pleasure to be here.
It's really been a pleasure to hear you from a few feet away.
This is a little lullaby called Rows and Rows of Stars.
Your lips are like two lines of filament, copper fire underneath these rows and rows of stars. The air crackles tonight with words unsaid and moonlight underneath these rows and rows of stars. Before my eyes, before my eyes, before my eyes, before my eyes, eyes. Lightning strikes and then it shakes the foundation, then you wake underneath these rows and rows of stars. If every word you said was worth 50 cents, I'd have enough to pay my rent underneath these rows and rows of stars.